Ross Zen during the pretzels. So if you're making a pretzel that doesn't twist just right, hey, it's a happy accident. That pretzel's going to taste just as good, if not better, because of that little twist mistake, a twist steak, if you will.
So this person becomes the Orson Welles of pretzel makers.
Yes.
Wow.
Wholeheartedly believe that, yes.
Wow, Zed Yelling turned his life around.
Yeah. Yeah. And if anything, it twisted his life up in a good way.
Wow. That's really wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can smell the pretzels from here.
Yeah. Not too much salt, but enough salt. Not too little, Some mustard.
It's a baby bear's porridge worth of salt. I mean, it is just right. It is perfection.
I gotta give. Okay, I don't want Mahoney to be the head of get anywhere near the MVPs, because Mahoney goes up to a boat and goes pull over, and the boat whaps him off, and he falls. And it's just Mahoney'd it for sure. That's why I'm gonna say the other MVP is Cadet Adams, because she stays on her jet ski. Now, she doesn't jump on a boat. She doesn't say we need to talk. There's no fisticuffs. There's no tussling. She doesn't have a good shoulder tussle with a criminal. But she's the only person who really doesn't fall off of her jet ski. She just keeps a constant pressure on the two of them. She's the workhorse of the team. She's following them. She's not going anywhere while everyone else is flopping around. She does sweet jumps. So I think she is, aside from Zed, the co-MVP of this chase.
Oh, I would think so. And I mean, you said it yourself. She's right there. She's the workhorse. Hey, defense wins championships, right? They're not always going to make these big plays, but they're going to make the stops when they have to. They're going to prevent the scores. And what does she do? She makes the stops when she has to. She prevents the scores. She doesn't fall in the water. Mm-hmm. That's sturdy. You know what I mean? You're getting a high rating 9 times out of 10. She's leading. If this was a league, she's leading the league and not falling in the water.
Wow, that's a big one.
No one else can do that. Everyone else is batting 1,000 on 0.
Yep, that's wow. And that's why she won the MVP 2 years in a row.
Exactly. Exactly. And this time, clearly she's got to share it, because they couldn't just stay on the ski. They had to go above and beyond. They're like, I need to do something new, because this person right here is literally the only face on the Mount Rushmore of not falling off a jet ski in a chase in Police Academy 3. I need to do something above and beyond. I'm going to scream at this dude. And here we are.
Bobcat Goldthwait looked very comfortable on that 1980s early era Kawasaki Wave Runner jet ski. That was Bobcat on that jet ski. And Bobcat's yelling, and that guy's falling. And who's bringing that jet ski back?
It's got to be Bobcat.
Bobcat?
I think he's gonna take him. I think something's gonna happen where he goes back and he gets it. Be it under the dark of night, he sneaks it, or whoever goes to take it from him, he yells, he screams at him.
Does he put one foot on each, and then one arm on each, and then ride him back duo?
I think he might actually. This might be crazy. I think he's gonna lay down across the two.
Interesting.
And use a hand and a foot to guide his way home.
That's more difficult.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to Jean-Claude Van Damme 2 tractor trailers those jet skis.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's Zed style.
That's Zed, baby.
But
Zed's not dead, baby.
Zed's not dead. Zed's on a jet ski, baby. Just watching this, though, and the reason I wanted to talk about this again is that there are jet ski scenes, right? And we talked about it ad nauseum on our jet ski draft episode. Mm-hmm. But this is an entire finale of a film involving jet skis. So Transporter, there's an action scene, Hard Rain. But this all comes down to jet skis. And that's so rare. And it's kind of wonderful. But it seems tough, right? You're just going around in canals. There's a lot of water gags. You got stunt people flying all over the place. These things are quite unwieldy at the time. But it was ambitious. For a third film in a franchise, it was an ambitious chase. And that's why I really wanted to talk about this.
Oh, absolutely. Because you got to think third film, they're like, we got to go bigger, better, bigger set pieces, bigger explosions. But no, they just get creative with it. And what's interesting, too, is they keep it engaging. You could watch jet skis and just kind of get bored after a while. I don't know if you owned a Nintendo 64. I loved Wave Race, but you can only play it for, say, 20 minutes, and then it gets old. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You're not chasing anybody. There's no excitement. There's no shouting. There's no potential gunplay. None of that stuff. But here we have it. We have shortcuts. We have screams. We have, people leaping from skis onto boats. We have all of these different aspects, and it keeps it engaging. I'm not going to lie. When I was really big into NASCAR when I was younger, I would get bored, but I don't want to tell that to anybody. You know what I mean? I wanted to seem cool and like, yeah, I'm into this and I know what's going on, but it can be boring. But there's excitement here, and it's what brings you back. And I think that's what also makes the film stand out amongst the others. Nobody does that. No one's going to base their whole finale around a jet ski. No, that doesn't happen.
It's beautiful, and it's stood the test of time.
It absolutely has.
Now, we've talked about, let's each give our favorite moment that we haven't talked about yet before we get out of here in this final fight.
Ooh.
Let's each give our own. And since I just came up with it, I'll do the nice thing and let you go first.
Well, I hope I don't take yours. One thing I like is actually, and I feel guilty saying this, it's actually not one of the jet ski moments.
Whoa.
Because mine's already been spoken about with Zed screaming at a guy. I like the fight that Jones has with two of they were waiters, but they're actually bad guys. He is fighting, leaps into the air, right?
12 feet.
Has really, really great hang time. I mean, just great hang time. But when he comes down, one would think there's going to be a big explosive double kick, and he's knocking both of these guys out, but it's not. He's throwing them off. He's jumping down, kicking one guy in the shin, kicking another guy down the steps. Again, they're subverting your expectations. You're like, okay, this is going to happen. Oh, no, we're going to do something completely different. And then he goes off and, continues, joins the chase because he's already in a wetsuit. I mean, he's halfway there, living on a prayer. He's going to make it happen.
That's a great, and I love the confusion on the henchman's face. Like, this guy just jumped 12 feet in the air. They're totally confused by it, and then they just get laid to waste, get knocked out. And then his hand is a periscope.
Oh, yeah. And you got to think, that's why he's sticking to kicks. He don't want to hurt them periscope hands. He doesn't want to crack the glass. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And not only that, these guys have guns. When he's up in the air with that hang time, they could shoot him. And that's the end of it. But they are so gobsmacked. They're in such awe that they let it happen. I'd be the same way if I'm like, man, he is up there. I wouldn't have the wherewithal to go, oh, he's defenseless. Let me take him out. I would just be awestruck.
Guy's a mutant.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so I gotta do it. I gotta pick one now. Oh man, this is tough. This is gonna sound weird, but I just like that for once. Cadet Adams, she stays on, Mahoney flies off, and then she goes, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, just keep going." Like, his ego isn't hurt at all. He just comes right back into the fight, and that says a lot about the characters. Like, normally it would be the guy watching over the lady, but even in the 80s, right, they're always just getting kidnapped, or the daughter, like, fodder. So I like that she stayed on, he fell off, she asked if he was okay. He's totally comfortable in himself to get back on to his jet ski and keep riding. It's nice. Yeah. It's a nice moment. It's refreshing.
It is, and especially for something in the 80s, because you expect this machismo, you expect this, bravado to come through, and he just keeps it in a team effort. He's like, hey, thanks, I'm good, you keep going, I'll catch up. You're the workhorse, keep working, horse, and I'm gonna be right there behind you, And he joins in, and sure, he ends up, being the guy to kind of handle the situation, take care of everything, but I think he does it because he wants to prove himself that, hey, you know what? Even though I fell, I got back up again. And, you're never going to keep me down. I'm going to get up there and make the stop. And I wouldn't have had the energy or the motivation to do so if you hadn't asked me how I was.
Wow. I want to put the Wallflowers cover of the song Hero playing over that moment. What do you think?
I like it. I like it because I think financially the rights would be easier to attain.
Yep.
It's also just a good version. Like, I like Jacob Dylan. I think he gets a bad rap from a lot of people.
Really?
But I appreciate him. I think he does. I mean, he's Bob Dylan's son, right? He has very similar mannerisms, and he has to kind of separate himself from his father, and they have similar writing techniques and the way they describe things, sure, but he's his own person. You know what I mean? If you look at the kids of the Beatles, that's not the case at all. I'm not saying they're not talented, but Ringo's son is doing the best out of everybody right now, I think, and dude's out there crushing it. And everybody else is just kind of, Sean Lennon's getting out there too, and he's getting better with, the Claypool and then Delirium and everything. But when you get to, Danny Harrison, what's he really doing? Can you even name Paul McCartney's son? I can't name Paul McCartney's son.
Yeah.
And here's Jacob Dylan hanging out with the Wallflowers, talking about headlights.
Dude, that song, that's one of my favorite driving songs ever. I could play that right now, cruising, and just blare it. I love that song. That Run by Snow Patrol. That's a good song. There's a Less Than Jake song that I really love. The Science of Selling Yourself Short. I think that's a really good one. 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. Interstate Love Song.
That's a good one, dude.
That's a really good one. That's a driving mix right there. Get in your car and listen to those.
Yeah, that's a Spotify playlist that's going to get added to a lot of people's libraries.
And sailing.
I mean, in a way, you're just road sailing. You know what I mean? You put that song on when you're on the middle of Kansas, passing through Salina, and you've got just wind turbines all around. It feels like you're just out on the ocean because you just close your eyes, not for too long because you got to keep your eyes on the road, 10 and 2. But you know what I mean? You're there. You're just in paradise, a very flat, sandy paradise. Beautiful. As you go through Kansas.
And the last song, Float On by Modest Mouse.
Oh, yeah. And then it's because you're floating onto your destination.
Yep.
Or the gas station. Whatever it is, you're floating onto it.
Hey, thank you for joining me, man. This was wonderful. This was a great palate cleanser. This is fun.
Absolutely. Anytime. I'm an email away. I'm a shout from a jet ski away.
I'm going to put a jet ski light on my house and just shine it, and you'll know.
Perfect.
All right. It would have to be probably 700 yards long for you to see it in Baltimore, but I'm going to build one.
And that dedication is why I keep coming back.
I'm going to wipe out the grid when I turn that thing on. I hope he's looking because this isn't lasting long. Oh, man.
I like that.
Thank you for joining me, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Nick, you can row a boat, but you can't row a jet ski. Riak, this is Final Fights. We'll see you next week.